Today we are going to explain an American mystery thriller series called Fubar. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The show takes place in Antwerp when Luke Brunner burns a dumpster and leaves while speaking on the phone with Barry, who assists him in sneaking into the fire department and going to the diamond area. Given that Luke's true goal is to slink below and break into the vault from below, everything here is a sham. The goal of this operation is to break out a number of diamonds, which Luke manages to grab and flee with without being seen. The entire diamond scheme is a ploy to entice a top diamond dealer and identify his superiors. Luke Brunner's true identity as a CIA operative is revealed as Barry plans a hit from a distance. He successfully completes his final job, leaves the CIA, and makes arrangements to return to the US as a hero and a retired agent. Luke then travels home to New York carrying a present for Emma. Additionally, he has a present for his granddaughter, Romy, who he presents with one of the warlords of the Democratic Republic of the Congo's stolen diamonds that he held onto. Barry expresses displeasure and notes that this is proof. Because he is divorced and comes out as a bit of a loner without Tally by his side, Luke thinks that a trip on a large ship would help him win her back. But before he can come back, Barry has some important information. One of their agents, with the codename Panda, is going to perish. She has been in Guyana for some time and appears to be involved with Omar Polonia's son, who has taken over his father's mantle and now has over 400 individuals assisting in the distribution of illicit weapons. He also has a suitcase nuclear weapon as well. The man is called Boro, and he plans to conduct an auction where the most notorious criminals would congregate and compete to obtain the weapon. They have 36 hours till Troy returns to Guyana and reveals Panda. Since Troy, who is Boro's right-hand man, has discovered Panda as a planted agent, and given that they've lost contact, they're in trouble. They need somebody Boro can rely on, and Finn Haas is required in this. Luke's pseudonym is Finn, and now that instructions have arrived from HQ, he's caught between wanting to try and mend fences with Tally and being unhappy that she's already seeing a guy named Donnie from work. Luke encounters Kane, Boro's first lieutenant in Guyana. He has some misgivings about him, but after having him patted down, he enters Boro's camp. Luke is astounded to see Danielle DeRosa engaged in a money-fighting match after being shown around. Emma, who is his daughter, is actually Danny, and she is directly involved in all of this, as it becomes evident that Emma is truly Panda, a member of the CIA. She accepted the job after graduation since she was born to do it. The CIA managed to keep her and her father apart throughout the 3 years they had been in captivity. While his daughter is gone, greater issues are in play, and Luke is not pleased that she has been lying. Before Troy lands at 4 a.m., they must try to find a solution. Luke is advised by Boro to go to Danny during a party since he implies that he still has contact with her. A message is passed to Luke by a man named William, who is aware that he is a plant and is now grinning uncomfortably. He is afraid and needs Luke's assistance to free his family. Luke is not as certain as Emma is that this is a trap and that they should be selfless. Emma is currently in charge because she has been here the longest. Emma and Luke gets into a fight at the airstrip and didn't realize that they totally ran over their friend. The next morning, Emma declares that she is the finest shooter in the complex, but there is an extremely embarrassing moment when Emma's lipstick vibrates across her desk. Emma is enraged at Luke for causing the divorce and argues that her position is different because she is flawless and doesn't have a family. Luke tries to make apologies, but it doesn't work out. Their cover is shattered when the vertical incision on their throat is recognized as Luke's signature. After faking an accelerated countdown, Luke and Emma are able to take the nuclear suitcase. Let's pause here for a moment. Do you want to grow your channel like this, and start earning on YouTube just within a month? Just DM me on my Instagram account. I'll give you the secrets to grow your recap channel without any apparent effort. With the help of Will and his family, who have agreed to give them a ride, they all proceed to the runway. Boro and his men, however, suddenly surrounded them, and Barry is nowhere to be seen. When Boro and his men arrive, they inquire about Luke and Emma's collaborators. By talking about Boro's father's final moments, Luke saves them valuable time as William's daughter holds a pistol to her head. Bullets from a chopper flying overhead fall on the adversaries. Boro, on the other hand, escapes unharmed while Emma, bragging that she has the best shooting scores, kills one of the thugs to spare Luke's life. After 24 hours, CIA Director Dot concludes that since both Emma and Luke have been working on this, they will need to collaborate on the next case to extradite Boro. Dot points out that Emma's arrogance and cockiness could have contributed to the deaths of cops. Dot also confides in Luke that Emma was close to receiving the nuclear weapon back when she decided to switch off the communications. Naturally, Emma and Luke clashes, with the former pleading with her father not to ruin this case the way he ruined their family. He is left with no choice but to return to Barry and get into Donnie's laptop in order to find out more information about the man who was trying to date his ex-wife. In addition to learning that Donnie is investing in his son's app, after meeting an analyst on loan from the NSA named Tina Mukherjee at a work briefing, the group quickly learns that Boro, despite his attempt to fake his death, is still alive and looks to be traveling to either Eastern Europe or Asia. It appears that he will produce another nuclear briefcase as long as his auction is still open. Later, the gang finds out that Boro has left for Kazakhstan, where he plans to transfer cesium-137 aboard a maglev train worth of tankers. The only game is to attempt to halt the train, transfer the garbage to a tanker truck, and leave. Dr. Louis Pfeffer, an operational psychologist, conducts required treatment sessions with Luke and Emma. Luke is the one in command of this case, which adds to the conflict between the father and daughter. He is the in-house analyst. That evening, after a fun family meal, Luke leaves disappointed and Donnie throws the Barry's ice cream cupcakes he brought into the bushes. The counseling that comes after this also doesn't go as planned. 9 o'clock arrives and everyone gets ready to leave. While Emma struggles to convince her lover that she is out on a mission, Luke pays her a rare compliment for finding an error in his equipment. Luke, who is meant to be a professional, taps his ear, speaks to Barry, and discusses operation in a crowded train compartment. Emma arrives and identifies discrepancies among the many travelers, including one who is eating pork. Luke, however, determines she should wait for the time being and withdraw. When a helicopter shows there and starts to remove the cesium-137 from the air, Luke rushes in before the choke point with all of his weapons blazing. Emma, however, is more irritated by the fact that the BLT person in the corner is a plant, as she hinted it earlier in the show. In an effort to halt Burrow, who is in a helicopter overhead, Luke and Emma decide to accelerate the train. Unfortunately, because he's still spying on Donnie, Barry ends up with him in miscommunication. Due to this misunderstanding, Luke speeds up the train too fast, making things much worse. Emma makes the decision to use nuclear sludge to reheat the magnets. Luke makes the decision to employ the magnetic suits from their treatment session from the previous chapter to assist. They alternately listen to one another and cooperate to bring the hose in and warm the magnets with Luke and Emma on either side of the wagon. They sigh with relief when the train slows down as a result of it. Boro escapes after his scheme is thwarted, but Emma and Luke advance significantly since they have developed their teamwork skills. Emma still has a hard time juggling her career and telling Carter the truth, but she assures him of a crazy night. Boro has William under captivity and demands that he provide all the details on Luke and Emma. William sobs and tells him that all he knows are the words Violin and Emma as the prospect of torture hangs over him. Unfortunately, despite providing this information, his leg is nonetheless amputated. Using this information, Boro starts a cyber manhunt to find Emma and bring her to him. The cash award is $1 million. We then see the Tally-Ho Luke's ship that he plans to deploy as a sign that he wants Tally back. The NSA employee Tina is also there. Barry is obviously smitten with her, but Tina is more focused on her job. On her phone, she has a bot alert set up to ping her anytime new information regarding a radioactive substance is posted. Just afterward, a report about the kidnapping of a scientist from Moldova appears, and it appears to be their next play. Carter and Emma are having another conversation at home when he brings up the subject of children, which terrifies Emma. Fortunately, Luke is there to take Emma away, but on the way to the workplace, he says that he supports her no children stance. Luke isn't convinced Carter is the appropriate match for her since she wants to be stimulated and pushed by her companion, whoever that may be. He doesn't think Carter is that person. Given prior to this, Luke had a brief interaction with Tally during which he nearly begged her to board his boat and pass Donnie. Dot gives the players a briefing on their upcoming performance at the CIA. Dr. Karl Novak, a Moldovan applied physicist, visited Ireland as part of a goodwill gesture. In fact, he wrote a study on the topic of obtaining and enhancing fissile nuclear material from nuclear waste. They don't have much information, but considering that this is what Boro wants, it does play into his hands. Like Nika Stalinovich, a mid-level manager with poor self-esteem who also happens to have Novak stayed on her computer, Alden is used as the Pooh Bear of this scheme, acting as the honeypot to catch her. This honeypotting hasn't exactly made Emma pleased because she sees it as justification for the actions of frat boys. As luck would have it, Nick A, not Nika, is who it turns out to be. Alden is now out and Emma must be in place, especially since he is not homosexual. Emma enters doing her best while Alden looks on. Rue and Luke, who are in the truck by chance, figures out where his residence is. Emma is welcomed back to Nick's apartment while they are setting up. While Tina and Barry try to remove the Faraday cage that prevents communication within the building, Emma drops her phone, which causes an awkward situation. As soon as he takes it up, he recognizes the mobile game as the one that was used to unlock Nick's laptop's data. Luke eventually fixes the connection and the group downloads the data. Emma locates the safe and breaks in, stealing the study paper's physical copies. However, as she turns back, Nick slowly raises a pistol to her face. Here, the episode of this series ends. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.